G'day guys, kia ora and good evening. It's Dave here from New Zealand Outdoor Blades and Bullets. Hope you're doing fantastic tonight. I'm going to raise a topic of, in the old days, New Zealanders shooting trout with high-powered rifles. Highly illegal. I do not condone it, but I'm just going off some personal experiences I came across as a young guy, and also books that I read. So starting off with the books, when I was very young, I sort of grew up reading these books about hunting in New Zealand, and a lot of them were written in the 1950s and 1960s when the hunting was really, really good. And we had professional deer cullers or deer hunters. And in a lot of these books, I used to read specifically about some of these guys who were living in, remote wilderness locations. And this was, again, in the 50s and 60s, long time ago, were surviving on fairly lean Forest Service rations. And of course, they had venison and wild pork to add to their rations, but every now and again, they would get trout. And the story goes, it was recorded in these books, that sometimes they would shoot the trout, often with a .303 rifle. There's two versions of this I've heard. One version is that they'll use a soft point bullet in proximity to the trout if it's swimming on the surface in a river, typically. And apparently the shockwave will stun the trout will float down towards them, and they'll scoop the trout out and cook it up for dinner. That's one version I've heard. And the other version I've heard is that guys using a full metal jacket .303 projectiles, seeing a trout swimming in a stream or river very close to the surface, which is quite common. They'd sneak up behind it and actually shoot it in the head with a full metal jacket round. That's another version of the story I heard, and both are entirely possible. Sort of a little bit of a funny story, and again, I don't condone this, but when I was very young in Canterbury, and I knew a couple of guys who, one had a .303 and one had a .308, and I actually witnessed these guys, I'll call them Dave and Darren, trying to shoot both eels and trout with these high-powered rifles. Again, I don't condone it. And all I saw was a lot of water and a lot of splashes, and there weren't any dead eels or trout. So I'm not sure how well it works, but I would love to hear from anyone who back in the day witnessed this sort of thing and tell me, is it the real deal that you could shoot a trout with a .303 and have it for dinner. Anyway, if you got this far, love to hear from you. Cheers.